Hi, all, and welcome to Monday Night's Treasure Vortex with Gypsy Jewels from Zero Discrimination, as well as GypsyDigs.com, and myself, Amanda Digger Degaz. Tonight, we have a special guest, Axel Macon, and we are so excited to talk to him. But before we bring him in, hey, Gypsy, how are you tonight?
Hey, I'm doing great, Amanda. It's good to be here again with you. Excited.
Yes.
I know you've had a bit of a crazy day, but it's always kind of relaxing to settle down for the evening and chat with our friends and have a special guest and talk about our favorite subject.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yes, tonight has not gone in our favor. As anybody that does labor, like hands and whatnot for work and diggers, you can't kind of go without a dryer, especially seeing we're still dropping into frost again tonight, apparently, which is awesome. But the dryer kicked the bucket today, so we spent that evening taking it apart and putting it back together and realizing it was actually something else that, yeah, a new dryer's needed. So yeah, that took away from they haven't harrowed the cornfield that I've been detecting. Um, and so my plan was to get over there. So put that on the back burner, obviously. Um, yeah, you know how it
Sometimes, yeah,
goes.
those emergencies arise, and that's one thing that you can't seem to live without for a very long period of time. Although it's probably, I guess, easier to live without a dryer than a washer, but you can
Yes.
always, but I personally don't care to dry my clothes that way because they always, natural because they're stiff. But sorry you didn't get to go hunting, but glad you got one ordered and
Yep.
and
On the way.
all that good stuff.
Yeah, thankful that we can do that, I guess. But yeah, I was like, it doesn't matter. We're gonna have nice weather. We'll just hang them, which, isn't a big deal. But yeah, it's not supposed to actually get really warm this week. I'm like, yeah, it won't work too well. So, but have you gotten out at all?
I have. I got up this weekend and twice.
Ooh.
First day with my buddy Shauna, and I got a partial to a pocket watch. Got a what else did I get? Oh, I got my very first ever spur, but turned out to be like a kid spur.
Oh.
Or I think that's what it is because it's not brass. It looks like the metal. I would say that it might have belonged to, back in the day, probably 40s, 50s, when kids, would buy the little, um, cowboy
Oh yeah,
suit,
like costume dress up type thing.
costume dress up type thing. I know that my brother had something similar, probably not, like that exactly. I remember him having something like that, and I used to like put on the chaps and the vest and the stuff like that. So I found it's kind of mangled and broke, but I did find one of those, so that was cool. Found a tax token, Oklahoma tax token, and a watch thing, and a bunch of odds and ends, some wheat pennies, and then, and the next day we went digging and got some wheat pennies, and I got a few other odds and ends that you'll have to wait, for the video.
Yes.
And
Yep, saw the Indian head penny you posted.
and yep, Indian head penny. That's the second Indian head that I've found at that location. It was so crusty, I barely could tell that it was probably an Indian when I dug it. I thought, well, maybe it's a, a weedy, but I could tell it felt a little different, and it was so green. So I just kept rubbing on it, and I'm like, I think I got an Indian. So when I got home, I was just like, scrape with a toothpick. I did the old toothpick method, and could see the date. So
Nice.
I love finding those Indian head pennies.
I do too. I do too. The last one I found was mudlarking. The ones prior that were in pretty good shape, were all at a permission that everything goes back to. So I was, but I know that they enjoy them. So hey, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I got
right,
pictures of
right.
them. I'm sure I have more sitting on this desk somewhere that I was allowed to keep. So obviously, if they're buried on my desk, it doesn't really, add. How many can you have?
Right, exactly. But anyway, how about you? Did you get out any, or did that dryer just mess everything up?
I'm trying to think if I got out at all in the last. Oh, I did. I got out metal detecting last week. So I decided to head out because I saw and chatted with the property owner, and they hadn't harrowed yet. They were changing fields around for where they're moving their cattle to. So I did. I went out, and I ended up finding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 buttons. um,
Whoa!
and some odds and ends, buckle. The funny thing is, like, they're either tomback buttons, like the white metal, or they're
Ooh!
really pretty, like, design, like flowers, and they're really neat, or ball buttons.
Ooh!
So
Really?
yeah, and then a couple clay pipe stems and some pottery that was on top, but yeah, no, it's been
Sweet.
good. It's been good. And I'm looking forward, hoping I went by, that's the field I was going to go to today. I went by and it still wasn't harrowed, and I'm like, yeah, that means more opportunities. And we had torrential rain this weekend. Um,
Oh wow! So next
so
time you go, then it should be good filled.
yes, exactly. That's what I'm hoping. So that was what I was hoping today. Tomorrow is a wash. I'm not gonna make it out detecting tomorrow either. And then got some adventure plans. So
Well, that's
I,
good. That's
yeah,
always good to have those adventures planned. So
yeah,
I do too. I've got some adventures planned coming up too. So
fantastic, fantastic.
anyway,
I'm sure we can't wait to talk about them. Um,
right.
yeah, let's see if Axel, so you all know he is out in the field. I think these are becoming some of my favorite podcasts and interviews, is when, like Gypsy, we talked to you and Dom while you guys were still in the field, and
Right.
yeah, Axel's still in the field. So everybody give a warm welcome to Axel, and hey, welcome to Treasure Vortex.
What's going on, y'all?
Hey, hey.
Hey, we're a little envious right now because you're out there digging, finding some goodies, and we're in here living vicariously through you. So,
Well, it's not a terrible spot to be.
Yeah, no.
it's
And it actually sounds,
probably going to be a little hard to swing, yeah, while you're talking to us, I'm sure, but um, I bet you can handle it though.
it actually sounds like you're digging a hole right now.
Maybe. That's my
Well,
last signal.
Yes.
well, Axel, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and where you're from and all of that?
So, my name's Axel. I am from Carolina Beach, North Carolina, Fort Fisher. It was one of the last ports to fall in the South was Wilmington, and big Civil War spot. But I'm actually living in Charleston, and I've been here for about 10 years now.
Fantastic.
Cool.
And how long have you
So,
been detecting?
Let's see. So I picked up a metal detector when I was around 12, I think, and then put it down for a long time and traveled and surfed contests for a long time. And that kind of took over for a while. But being from a super historic island, always been into history and exploring and walking low tides. And whenever I got to Charleston, I decided to pick one back up and actually really start to learn one. And so it's probably been about 5 years now total, if I would like really actually detecting.
That's awesome.
wow, that's fantastic.
What got you
Well,
into picking up the detector when you were 12?
My granddad had one, and my dad built a house on the backside of the island, and that's where about 10,000 Union soldiers came through towards the end of the Civil War. I think it's either 1,400 or 1,800 Confederates held off 10,000 Union soldiers for 2 weeks, and all that battle was fought on my island. So everybody talks about it, and people find when they do construction, they find shoes and all kinds of stuff just gets drug up, and it's just kind of always been around there. So my granddad bought one to find iron in his restaurant so that they could figure out where the electrical went through under the concrete, and then me and my dad stole it from him. It was one of those big, giant green and yellow Garretts. I can't even remember.
Nice.
cool.
I'm curious of
We
what
didn't
you're
really find
digging.
anything there.
Yeah, we want to
I
know what
do.
you're digging.
I don't know where the signal went. It was a banger too.
So when you're out metal detecting, are you surface hunting as well?
Oh, always. Yeah. I tend to end up finding myself by the creeks and all that stuff. I like to go look for bottles, and, I just like to explore.
Fantastic.
Wonderful. So, a little birdie told us you're part of a special team. So can you tell us what machine you're using now?
So I am a Mine Lab Detect expert. So I use Mine Lab Equinoxes. I've got two 800s as of right now.
Nope.
We're still waiting for them to get tested around. Customers are getting them first. But my 800s work great. And yeah, I'm very proud to be on the Mine Lab team.
Very cool. We lost you there for a second, I think.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you say you haven't
Can
gotten
you
to
hear me
use
now?
the? Yeah, you said you haven't gotten to use the Manicore yet.
No, there's a couple other detect experts that were ahead of me using the one they're passing around, and I haven't gotten to use that yet. I used the 900 at Digstock 5 when I was out there working the Mine Lab booth. Very impressed with that machine. I can't wait to get my hands on one of those.
And you swinging the 800 right now?
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic.